Oh, well, what's her name? You can get her.
CDC. Yeah. CDC. What's her name?
Grab the script, Janelle. Hey.
Hey. How you doing?
Fancy seeing you in the middle of the night.
I need the plugs for the headphones.
Oh, here.
I'm still waiting on Stephanie and Tommy, right? I think Stephanie's just right here. Oh, she's just here from work.
Be careful. Sometimes this thing moves and how you look at the page. So.
Hello?
Oh, dear, can you buzz King Kevin in and Keenan?
Okay.
Buzz them into the Epic Gate and then have somebody come downstairs. Okay, thank you.
Nothing.
No.
You got in, right? The gate opened after I hung up with you, right? Okay. So
You live, Jill. I forgot to tell you just
okay.
now. So you're on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You gonna do your dance again for YouTube? I didn't catch it. She didn't hear me.
There's an island in Japan filled with bunnies. Cuddly, soft, warm bunnies. Something else to make you feel good? Geico's been offering great savings and service for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rate. And that satisfying coverage from Geico isn't just for your car. The Geico Insurance Agency can help you with renter's insurance too. Geico offers motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. You know what else will make you feel good? Honey doesn't spoil. Which means either bees are magical or there's a scientific reason honey tastes delicious forever. Or along with magic bees. And Geico is the largest auto insurer in the state. So breathe easy. We've got your back. Plus, you might be able to save even more money.
Okay, Janet is the last one. 1, 2, 3.
Emergency roadside service.
Oh, where is my phone? Hello, right in front of me.
Attention, all U.S. drivers. Do you own a vehicle with less than 175,000 miles with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all? In order to save drivers big money on future covered auto repair costs, Toco Warranty is proud to offer an affordable vehicle repair protection plan that can save you big on vehicle repair costs.
I don't have
Will have all future covered auto repair bills paid directly.
I don't have your bio or anything, but you are here, of course, on behalf of Overtown CDC.
Overtown CRA.
That's you.
Yes.
Wait.
Oh, it's all about the same.
Okay. Like,
Yeah, Overtown CRA.
oh my goodness. Okay.
The long term is Southeast Overtown Parkwest CRA.
CRA, yeah. Southeast Overtown Park West.
See it already.
Yeah. Okay, and you all are sponsored. Jen,
All
what's
right, I'm
your
going
name?
to get some.
Adderley. Adderley.
Are you still doing the Friday thing?
Yeah, they still do it, but it's
Yeah. I saw I saw her,
Andrea or Miss Bell.
Miss Bell, at an event, and she was saying, tell me about it, and I was like, I'm telling you, call me. We can make that thing happen. But I think they want to spend, $30 and get 1,000.
Yeah.
That is a big problem. Because that's just not gonna happen.
They have the money to do it. Like you said, they just want to spend it how they want to spend it.
Yeah. I can't believe that Janet is not sold out yet. I know, right? I guess they're like, is she really coming? But is she really coming this time?
She's like,
Okay.
somebody's calling me. I wonder if it's Stephanie.
That's probably coming.
That's Stephanie then.
Oh, downstairs.
Hello? Yeah, they're coming. Okay, bye-bye.
Hello.
Let's go. It's Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Always live. Always local. Always entertaining and educating South Florida. Celebrating over 30 years. Hot Talk continues to be the pulse of South Florida. Relevant.
Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. That is Pablo Picasso. And good evening, South Florida. I am Jill Tracey. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Hot Talk, South Florida's #1 community affairs. So each and every Sunday night from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., we highlight the challenges, the achievements, and we talk about them all with you and an engaging panel of guests. And I invite you, as always, to have a seat, perhaps a cocktail, and join the conversation at 888-550-9105. Indeed, my jewels tonight were from Pablo Picasso. Probably, when people think of art, they always think of poverty. The struggling, starving artist. And many times, you're struggling and starving because you want to tell the truth about how you see the world, but how you see the world is really not how most people want you to talk about it. That's why I played that Dion Ferris, Food for Thought, for me today. Because I was definitely using Food for Thought yesterday. It was a busy weekend, and I had the privilege and the honor to be a guest at the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce event on yesterday. And I was eating my food for thought until the waiter came and took. Wait a minute, if anybody was there and the waiter came and took your plate, okay, before you were finished, I was like, oh, I'm not finished. And he said to me, it's over. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, well, I guess I am finished now. It was hysterical. Now, mind you, I go every year, and I'm going to open it up to my guests. I'm going to let them be anonymous. Okay, so were you there last night at the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce dinner? Okay, they won't even say that.
Oh. Are you talking to us?
Yes, I am talking to you all. You shall remain nameless for the second.
Yes.
But you were there last night.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now this dinner, I'm old enough to remember and know that this dinner is that time of the year when everybody comes together. You may not see people all year long, but you go to the gala because you're going to run into everybody that you haven't seen and you want to see and make plans with for 2018.
Pretty much.
What'd you say?
I said pretty much.
Exactly. Okay. So everybody shows up, right? In their finest regalia, on their best behavior, and usually it makes for a pretty festive evening. For some reason last night, the fungus was among us. There was just this, I don't know, it wasn't that frivolity, that joviality in the room. It felt like an obligation. Like everybody was there because they had to. Like this is the thing that you have to do once a year. So everybody showed up. Right? It wasn't, and when I tell you, you'd have thought a gun went off. After the awards were done, when I turned around, the room was empty. Just gone. Everybody just, psh. There were a few.
That's a shame, but I stayed till the end. The band was pretty good.
Well, I was going to say, there were a few beautiful couples on the dance floor that stayed. I think Robbie Bell and the Piners and the Crespos and was a couple of others, but me and my single friend, Jen, we were like, okay, well, this is our cue. Look at the time. It was time to go. But it was joyous to see you all on the dance floor. But yeah, there was, and it may have just been me. It wasn't. Nobody else will say it, but yeah, there was just an energy that was missing last night, and it's probably relative to the tone in the country right now. Everybody, everybody you talk to now
very
say,
depressing.
hey girl, how you doing? Girl, I'm tired. I'm just, I mean, really, there's just a really bad energy just in the country right now, and I think it permeated, our dinner last night. Although I was very happy to see everybody I ran into. So happy to see you, Eric. You did it again, and now Eric does like a 5-minute feature at the top of the show. So like 11:50 or like right before midnight. There is I don't know if we'll hear him tonight. Let me see. I'll see if we hear him tonight. I don't think so. But we roll right, and it is. And the Miami-Dade Chamber Dinner is also the marking of the season, right? Because now we're in it full swing. And this week, you can't throw a rock and miss an Art Basel event. And we are doing, no, they're everywhere. They're on every corner, which is a good thing. And I'm hoping, tonight that, wait a minute, has anybody heard from Connie?
Should be here soon.
Something really bad happened on I-95.
Yes, the traffic was really bad.
And so everybody was having a really hard time on 95. But I just realized, I was like, okay, but Connie was on 95 a little while ago. Okay, I hope you're okay and on your way. Maybe that's, okay. That may or may not be her on the hotline. Let's see. It's going to be that kind of show tonight, people. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? Hello? Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? Maybe if I took you out of queue. Hello? Or maybe not. Okay, they're there. Hey, who's this? Hi, sex therapist Jen. How are you? Oh, it is that kind of night. Yes. I'm gonna send lunch down there for you right now. It is gonna be that kind of night. So please have a cocktail. Because it is on and popping. Okay, so to wrap up the chamber dinner, it was lovely, and it was a tribute to Afro pop. I said I was gonna bring the. I'm gonna get it on the next break so I don't mess that up. And Tito Puente Jr. performed, and George Tandy's band, who I just love. George Tandy Jr. Love them to death. So yeah, maybe when Connie gets here, we'll. But thank you again, Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce and committee. There'll be more on the 411, you know that. So with me in the studio, Miss Janelle Adderley, who I love dearly, from the Southeast Overtown Park West CRA. Please welcome Janelle Adderley.
Thank you for having me.
How are you, darling?
I'm doing well.
And the diva of all things urgent and ink, Celia Nelson. How are you, sunshine?
Hey, glad to be back.
Yes, glad to have you back and live again. So, and I thank you all because you have real day jobs. And so you all have to be up at the crack of dawn. Yeah. So I really, really appreciate you coming and being here with me at this hour of the evening. So there's a lot going on for Art Basel this year. This is the fourth year. Well, everything. Hey, Stephanie is here. Come on over, Steph. You can fill in for Connie. Come on over.
There she is.
Okay, no, she's here. She's like Batwoman. Call her, and here she comes. You gotta love it. Okay. Let me move over here. Tonto Irie is in the building. Please say hello to Tonto. How are you, sir?
Good.
Glad to have you. Now, Connie. Hey, girl. Hey. Come on over here. Where is her mic? I'm gonna put you on that mic over there. Oh, okay. Maybe Celia will. Are you gonna come this way? Yeah. If you're on YouTube right now, hey, you can see all the shenanigans going on in the studio. Yes. So you can go to the Jill Tracey Show YouTube, or the Hot 105 YouTube. I'm not sure, and you can see all the shenanigans in the studio tonight because we are extra. Listen, I mean it's a rare chance that it is bumper to bumper on 95 at 11 o'clock at night. It's just random when these things happen. So how are you, Dal?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. Glad to have you on here.
Happy to be in the house.
Yes, indeed. Were you there last night at the Miami-Dade?
No, I actually just got off a plane today. I was in
Oh,
Oakland,
okay.
California, at the Coalition of Black Meeting Planners.
Oh, how was that?
It was very good, and
Yeah.
one of our workers at the GMCDB salesperson got the Supplier of the Year award, so went down there to support him, and that's a conference
awesome.
that we actually attend to help bring business and convention business to Miami. So.
Yeah. So what was the tone? Have you all stopped? Did you all do a seminar on why you should not book Trump hotels?
Now, Celine. Now, Miss Jill. Jill. Not at this session, but
Okay. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. So for those of you who don't know, Connie runs everything at the Convention and Business Bureau,
Thank you.
and she represents the Art of Black Miami, which is the umbrella arm of all of the Art Basel African diaspora art events and exhibitions in Miami-Dade, and the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau is the sponsor of Our Voices Matter, which is one of the projects that I work on with, it's Celia's project, but I'm just a humble servant working with the kids. And we did it.
And we appreciate that.
I love it. I'm telling you, those of you who, I don't have children. I have dogs. Just as pricey.
Baby.
And they cost just as much. And there is something though about once you've reached a couple of peaks in your career, that those bucket list things, and you start thinking, okay, well, I've done okay, and there's something I need to fulfill, and when you start to work with kids, I found it. There's nothing better than, when you're in a classroom full of kids and you're working on something with them and they get it. And that just, I could probably do this, light goes off. Yeah. That's the best. That's the absolute best. So every summer I work with Celia and the kids at Urgent Inc. On radio, broadcasting. This year we did a podcast, which we'll be doing Thursday, right, at the Ward House.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our contribution to the Soul Basel Art of Black initiative for all things Art Basel will be our exhibit, Our Voice Matters, which is a multimedia collection of youth art, film, photography, radio, and crafts. And this is possible because of some very important people here in the room, because Connie has been a contributor through the GMCBB and sponsor of making this happen this year. Also, the Black Archives History and Research Foundation, which has lended the Ward House to us to
awesome.
Showcase youth art. And so we're just so excited. And of course, the Overtown CRA, helped fund our interns who worked on projects that will be showcased this Thursday and Saturday. So we're very excited, and I think that we are probably one of the only youth art exhibits during this time of year. I'm going to go ahead and put that out.
Put that right.
I haven't seen anything else on social media, so we're going to go ahead and claim that.
With youth, no, I haven't either, as a matter of fact. So this is the 4th year of Art of Black.
Right.
This is the 2nd year of Soul Basel. So now, Janelle, tell me about wait a minute. Soul Basel is, okay, the Art of Black is for the serious connoisseur. Soul Basel is where you get your get down.
So, Jill.
Am I lying? Okay.
Let me chime in right there. That was good. But look, Art of Black, and thank you so much again for having me on here and having us
Of
on
course.
here to just talk about these things. Much appreciated. Just generally, the Art of Black Miami initiative is a collaborative marketing platform, basically. And it came about by really and truly having Basel in town, bringing over 70,000 people about 4 years ago, and before that, some of the players, Graylin Swilly Woods, Petra Carolan, and others, Darren Channer and others, you know, it was identified that there was so much going on. So why not, as the GMCVB, because our job is to help market and promote the city, bring together an initiative to help bring awareness to these on an even larger level collectively, because when you have this many people coming in town, you know, they can also get out and about into our neighborhoods and be able to. So really, Art of Black Miami is the overall name that we're really trying to grow the brand. And then Soul Basel and some of the others, that some of the exhibits you hear, Art Beat, Art Africa, and all the things are activations, exhibits, and
the Art of Black.
Right, that would fall into those. Any of those things, we would help market and pro. Actually, anything that's going on that touches the African diaspora, we want to know about. We want to promote in the future on that national level.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I just wanted to.
And funding as well?
Funding as well on some of them as well. You know, be honest, we can't fund everything in Miami, but there are some things that you know, they're case by case because it can take it to the next level. So
so because you have Muse 305, and that is a fantastic exhibit. And it ends on Sunday nights Sunday afternoon at Chef Creole. And there are a couple of others, but we're going to take a break to talk about those. On the other side, I am Jill Tracey. This is Hot Talk on Hot 105.
James T. asking you to please support these advertisers that support R&B and old school.
Hey, this is Terry Williams, president and owner of One United Bank, the largest black-owned bank and the first black internet bank in America. This is my personal invitation to you to join the Bank Black movement. We must be more purposeful about how we use our money. We need to build black, buy black, and bank black to build wealth in the black community. By moving your money to One United Bank and using your Mona, Amir, or Lady Liberty Visa debit cards with their powerful images of blackness, you show the world that black money matters. So just go to oneunited.com today.
In life, it is so important to be prepared for stormy times. At Chance Senior Medical Center, we believe in preventing tragedy before it happens. We give seniors all the TLC they need. Trust is earned. Loving care is our priority. Convenience matters. Like a member of our family, we'll take care of you in good times and stormy times too, with 12 convenient locations. Call us at 786-565-0740. 786-565-0740 for the location nearest you.
Huh? Can you? Wait, it's only two over there? Yeah. Yes, indeed. It's the soundtrack of my lifetime. 888-550-9105. Welcome back to Hot Talk. You can catch every episode of Hot Talk, even if you don't stay up till the wee hours of the morning, with the Hot 105 app. And at hot105fm.com, you can listen to the podcast anytime, day or night. And I invite you, if there's anything that you've missed, to check it out. Coming up after midnight tonight on Hot Talk, it is love and sex and romance. So I had this killer promo for you all, and as soon as I went to pull the music in there, it crashed. So but I love it that people were like, okay, hey, where's your promo? Haven't seen promo yet tonight. What's on the show tonight? So it's what do you call that? It's a mystery bag tonight. You just have to sit and stay and see what comes out next. But right now, I'm in studio with Connie Kennard from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Janelle Adderley from the Southeast Overtown Park West Community CRA, thank you, Community Revitalization Agency, Redevelopment Agency, and with Celia Wonder Woman of Urgent Inc. That really is the only title that fits because you do everything at Urgent Inc.
It's unfortunate, but yes. No, I have a great team. That makes me look good. So I appreciate all our staff and volunteers, and of course the kids. Actually, they work hard.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we're going to be happy to feature them and have them up front in the midst of all of the other artists on a prominent stage. And this Thursday from 3 to 6, they're going to showcase the work, not only that they've been working on, but also they're going to be featured in several of the art installations at the Ward House. And so it's going to be a great thing. We even have this year crochet.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that.
Lost art, yeah. Matter of fact,
For real.
Stephanie Sylvester with the Children's Trust has been coming weekly to do a crochet club with our after-school program.
I love that.
And, most of them that are getting it are boys, actually. And they've even created their own stitches. So we're going to label, they've come up with their own names of their own stitch because, of course, they're innovators. They can't follow, the rules.
Right.
So they're going to have their own exhibition at the show.
That.
So it's going to be great. And matter of fact, several of the parents were so happy that the kids were learning something totally out the box.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
totally relevant. So,
and so many things like that require a single focus and concentration.
Absolutely.
These kids are not doing now. These video games, you're doing 12 things at one time. You know what I'm saying? You're on the clicker and you're trying to watch the screen and then you're trying to bring your friends in on Skype or whatever. That's a beautiful thing. So now, Connie, let me ask you.
Yes, ma'am.
This Art Basel is, one of the biggest art shows in the world.
Right.
So how do we fit in, like when it comes to like the guide to Basel, that art collectors that go in Europe and here, do you have any influence in making sure that Art of Black is included in there, or is that something? How does that work?
How does that work? Right.
Yeah.
And so you know what? A lot of that has been cultivation and letting them know that we exist, that this concept exists, and it's not I just want to say it's not a conflict or a challenge against Basel. It really is a compliment, if you will. They don't officially, if you will, accept or endorse other types of events, but
that aren't Art Basel.
Exactly, but we're considered one of the events that they know about. We have advertisement in some of their literature, some of the materials that the people, when they're here, they will see an Art of Black Miami ad, which, as we get the events, if they go to the website and go to some of the things like the art circuit that's around, we have it in here. So that's one.
Awesome.
That's one of the ways. We definitely want to continue to make that connection because we want those people to kind of get in our neighborhoods. One of the things that we're doing, I was just talking to Celia about it, we're going to have a press trip. We have about 7 writers in town that will be here throughout the week. They come in on, I believe it's Wednesday, and so we'll have them out and about. They'll be doing some editorials. We have Woody and Tony Lassane. They will be doing some video for us, and at the end of this, we're going to come out of this with a good marketing and a promo clip this year.
Awesome.
Capturing some of that as well. And then we're also working with Felicia Hatcher and Derek under their Blurred Factory concept. And basically, we're going to have influencers throughout and about, tweeting, doing all that good stuff that they do to kind of get that buzz out locally. And then from our global marketing company, we're going to have them doing some things. So we're really trying to heighten it for the African American community to know about it, but honestly for everybody, because as we know, green is green is green.
Right. Well, and I think that, it does serve the African American community for other communities to come and partake in what we're doing. And that's not to say that there aren't African American and African diaspora artists in the Basel show that's at the convention center, that are at there are a lot of Black artists in those shows as well.
That's right.
But
Absolutely.
those who don't, and typically, just for reference, the artists that are in the convention center, these are artists that are being sold in major galleries throughout the world. Yes. And that's really the hierarchy. It has nothing to do with color or station, and it's just who's got the hot album, who is the hot artist right now.
That's right.
And so it's very much the same thing. There are several different I was saying earlier, you can't throw a rock and miss an event. There are several events going on from Muse to Chroma, lots in Little Haiti. And there's a lot. I read an article not long ago about, in the New York Times, about how New York gallery owners are really eyeing Little Haiti as the next burgeoning area, because it is literally it's pennies on the dollar compared to what they have, what they're paying in New York, and as the art scene is really growing, in prestige in South Florida. A lot of them are getting in. That's a whole nother show to decide whether or not that's good or not for the community. But I know that Star X, and I meant to call him because did he call you?
No.
Star X is, he is opposed. What? Would you call Star X for me? Call him. Because I don't want to talk about him and not give him an opportunity to call in. But yeah, and I wasn't quite sure what it is, but it's sort of the idea that is not for us.
Right.
And that's not true. I don't know where that came from. And I
did see some comments
that it's not, and that's, I don't want that to be one of the things that we divide ourselves from unnecessarily, So, Janelle, how does all that fit in how does that fit in with Basel? Like, how do you all facilitate? Do you facilitate Soul Basel?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so that's going to be at Lyric.
Well, it's at actually several of our art and cultural facilities in the area.
Oh, okay.
Like Connie said, we're an umbrella under the Art of Black Miami. And under our initiative, we try to highlight Overtown's art and culture facilities by having several exhibits and events and specialty events and musical performances, even movie screenings, December 6th to December 10th during Art Basel
Right. Now,
Week.
I'm coming, I think, to see Giants.
Yes, that's Friday.
Headliner Market Group. That's
yes,
the piece they're
it's
doing.
the Art of Conversation hosted by Miami Commission Chairman Keon Hardeman on Friday at the Historic Lyric Theater. But we have several events that whole week.
Now, how can
exhibits.
people get? Oh, you got Star X. Okay. Star X, how are you, sir? Oh, wait. Hold on. Star X, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, sir, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Yourself?
I'm blessed and highly favored. So listen, I was completely remiss. It's just been a long weekend, but we're talking Art Basel, and I'm talking to Connie Kennard and Celia Nelson and Janelle from the CRA, and I was trying to articulate what your concerns were about Art Basel not being inclusive of our community to some degree. And so I wanted you to share exactly what it is that you would like to see happen with Basel that would be more inclusive of everybody, in your opinion.
So, yeah, I've gotten a crash course in diversity from a series of people in the art world, because I'm not in the art world.
Right.
However, I've attended Art Basel official events, and a lot of folks don't understand that Art Basel is an event that happens on the beach. It was founded in 1970. It really is a exclusive, very wealthy event where folks come, that the art collectors specifically come down and purchase art. If you look at the promo videos, you can go on YouTube, Netflix, there's a documentary there, and there's not one blackface in the entire documentary about Art Basel. And so there are events happening during Art Basel, and that's what people go to. So if you remember your childhood, we grew up in Miami, and we're from Miami. There's no childhood memories like the youth fear of going to Art Basel. So folks were like, Art Basel happens in Linwood, and I go to all these wonderful black events, and those are not Art Basel events. They're actually events that happens during Art Basel, and so they're like counter events that are solving, that is solving the problem of the diversity and inclusion issue. So what I wanted to see was a more authentic and organic Black-driven event that it allows for folks to celebrate amazing local artists and as well as national artists. And so I think that I haven't seen that, right? Like, you've just seen like our community something that we were never meant to be a part to begin with. So I don't like asking for people to include me in things. I like to be invited, but not included. Because it's just so for me, the solution would be, which I think a number of people working on, is an organic event that comes from within our community, like the Harlem Renaissance and Jacob Lawrence and all these wonderful artists. It just makes more sense when it's authentic.
Well,
and it's not. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm right. Let me cut your soliloquy. But okay, so Art Basel, but I don't. It was never really intended for America until somebody went and pitched basically them to come to Miami. So in that respect, do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't meant for anybody in America because we weren't sophisticated enough.
Well, yeah, it's a Swiss event. I mean, it's underwritten, mainly by the United Bank of Switzerland.
Right. So I don't think it's not just us. It just, it's just a cultural thing. And I mean, call a spade a spade. Nobody in our general community is spending $100 million on paintings. So we really are not the target audience. And honestly, I think it was Jay-Z and Beyonce and Pharrell and all of them started going to Art Basel and started talking about buying art as investments and all of that in their music. That's really when we even got interested in Art Basel.
The thing is that,
I mean, would you agree?
No, I think you're absolutely right. But the problem with that is that, every day we fight, and we talked about this, Jill. One of the things that we have a huge problem with is that, Art Basel, okay, fine, if you're a billionaire or you're a multi-billionaire or you have a couple $100,000 in the bank and you want to invest in art, that's fine.
Right.
So, for Jay-Z and Beyonce to say these things to the everyday black person, black American, I just think it's so outrageous.
Okay, but see, that's what, wait, time. So that's where we come in. Okay, I think we're all saying the same thing. Because that's where we come in. That's where Soul Basel comes in. That's where the Art of Black comes in. That's where because this is art done by people who look like you and art that you can afford. A lot of people don't, art is like wine. A lot of people like it, but they don't know how to talk about it. So this is a way, keep it real. And this is a way for them to get in. I will never forget being in the first tent that Muse did at Jazz in the Garden, and how many people came through taking pictures with the pictures, and they and said this was the first time they had ever been in a gallery. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think I don't
process.
Yeah, I don't think that it's exactly. It's like anything else. It's a process, and I think the fact that we have all of this Art of Black, Soul Basel, says, listen, yeah. I mean, you got red, white, and blue over there, and we got red, black, and green over here. Come look, it's pretty. I mean, that's basically how I see it.
But the other thing was, Munch did some, I put up a post and Munch shared it, and he was very passionate about the fact that, so many people that commented on my post, his point was, hey, we have tons of amazing black artists, and, most people know Adonis, Parker, and
right.
Maybe one of them. And the ones that
Munch will give you an encyclopedia of black art in South Florida that you need to go see.
Yeah, and I'm super ignorant, right, to black art, and I committed to spending $1,000 of my own money during this Art Basel period on black art.
Good. Did you go to the Soul Articulate Friday?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
That was like the first one at OPAC.
I didn't.
But listen.
What I plan on doing is going live from every single black event. Like, I'm literally going to try my best to drive.
I was going to say, okay, you were going to not sleep. But hold on, because I got to take a break. It's not a podcast. I got commercials over here. Love you. I'll call you later. But yeah, I think that we are. It is all the same, and I think that's why it's important to have, conversations about that, because we all want to get to the same place. But it's never been.
Right.
Anything. Right, yeah. It was in Switzerland, and it was,
And I think it's a growing. We're growing.
Yeah.
In this, and you know, I haven't been here this long, but from the time I started to now, I even see in the community
Oh my God, yeah.
a buzz. You know,
Yeah.
it's been, and so the more the community does, the more we can try and do, and we all kind of grow together. So
Yeah.
I know in Overtown, it started with one tent.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we have 5 exhibits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is growing, and I think it means a lot to be a standalone. You know, it's not. It'd be different if we were popping up tents in front of the convention center. That would be a whole other thing. But that's not it. Like I said, we're saying, you know, this is the lovely garden we're growing over here. Come check us out too. And right.
And it means a lot to
who's
us as
DJing?
African
Well, wait a
Americans.
minute. Okay, so
Just to have something that's ours. Because before Art Basel was just about, you know, other people.
Other
now
people
we're
with millions of dollars buying
Yeah.
art. That's
Now
what
we're
it's about.
included.
But now
You can
it's
go and,
changing.
you know, see
Yeah,
art.
because I don't think that. But yeah, I don't think that we weren't included then.
Right.
And that's how Jay-Z and Beyonce and all of them, when they got to that level, then that's where they discovered that's where millionaires go buy art. So they went, and because they went, we got interested.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it is. It's just a.
And there are black
all the way up.
millionaires.
Lots of them.
We got, I mean,
Right.
our folks can buy art too.
Right.
And so we can't lose sight of that and downplaying. It might not be us in this room, or it could be.
Right.
But there are people that can buy
Well,
art.
it's levels. I mean,
So
you
we
know,
can't discount ourselves that we can't be a part of that. We can be a part of that too.
Right.
But the good news is, as we expand this initiative, if you can't, like when I bought my first piece of art on, like, it was like layaway.
right.
I'm not saying I don't know what all these exhibits stuff, but I'm sure that some of them are creative.
Oh, my
and planned,
goodness.
And so you can get some art
Yeah.
at whatever level, and then you can grow.
And you grow up.
And you
I mean,
grow.
I have original art in my house that amazing. Okay, I'm not sharing no more about the art in my house. Okay, so needless to say, I have patronized. All of my art is local, or you know, people that I know, and particularly people of color. So anyway, all right. So I need to wrap. It goes by so fast here.
I know.
But okay, so central, like what would be the central hubs? Now for Soul Basel, I know there's lots of concerts going on.
Yeah, we have something at the Lyric Theater Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Lyric Theater. But they have Dougie Fresh, Sugar Hill Gang, and the SOS Band at the Lyric Theater.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is how we do it. That's it. You're not gonna hear Dougie Fresh in the middle of the convention
And then
center.
they have art exhibit there. You know what I'm saying? And they have
Thank
art
you.
exhibit right next building over,
Right.
Art Africa. And then, of course, we have the Youth Matters.
Our Voice Matters.
Our
at
Voice
the
Matters.
White House.
At the Ward House.
Yes.
So what? So if they go to artofblack.com, it's a comprehensive list of everything.
Right,
Yes,
right.
they can
Urgent
also
Ink.
go to Soul Basel, overtown.com as well.
Soul Basel, and that is Basel, Basel, not the spice.
Right, that's right.
I had to correct it.
Right.
I don't know how many people on Facebook the past couple of days that had Basil. I'm like, love you, mean it, but no.
And of course, I'm going to just plug Urgent Ink. You go to
Please.
urgentink.org or follow us on Twitter at Urgent Ink or Instagram or Facebook. They can find out more about our grand opening on the 7th from 3 to 6.
Awesome.
And just like you said, Jill, artofblackmiami.com will have a snippet of all those. And as they said, that you can go deeper in each exhibit. But if you want a good, I'm not saying we have everything. We've tried to capture as much as possible.
So let me ask you. So
Yes.
artofblackmiami.com will be
Yes.
sort of like the Huffington Post of Basel, but
Right.
Black Basel.
Right,
The
right.
boom,
And
that's
there are a
not
lot, and
Black
I would say
Basel.
there are a lot of good folks. I've seen some other direct
Right.
people bring together, which is all good too. So definitely look. But if this concept is
Yeah.
called artofblackmiami.com, if you go to that web page, you can find some of the
And
things.
and think of that right there. See, if you go to artofblackmiami.com and you include whatever it is that you are doing, then guess what? Then that becomes inclusive, and it becomes inclusive of everything.
Right.
I'll tell you one thing. Connie can do a lot of things. She can be in a lot of places, but she can't be everywhere. So, and I think a lot of times people say, I posted it on Facebook. Okay. That is not an answer. You need to be, and because I get that a lot of times from, why didn't you mention my whatever? Because it wasn't in a central location that we go to for references.
Right. And we'll, as we grow together collectively,
exactly,
we'll do better and to get the word out to say, wider, submit your event. We're growing. Next year is the 5th year of this concept, and so I bet you we're gonna come up with some creative and exciting things to celebrate that 5th year. Yeah. But
that's awesome. Yeah. Listen, we're still working on a distribution for the Miami Times. Okay, I'm trying to get it in, bro. Okay, y'all worry about it. How long they been in business? 100 years. Okay. One thing at a time, people. Stephanie, Connie, Celia, and Janelle, thank you all so much for coming. I love you all. And I will see you all in the streets at Basel. And coming up, King Noir and Jet Set Jasmine. Yes, would you pay someone to teach you how to have better sex? It got quiet in this church. Sex therapist Jen is here with the crew, and King Noir. We got 2 kings in the building tonight. Well, we really got about 4, but 2 that actually call themselves kings. Coming up on the other side, I am Jill Tracey. This is Hot Talk. Oh, not 105. Oh my God. That was good.
Maybe listening on the way home.
Okay.
I'm gonna know you listening now.
Oh Lord. They get paid $4.50 an hour.
Who the people that came in? The one that was
What's up?
I don't know if I could be helpful. I don't know if I can help that.
I mean, do it better, or get more.
Thank you. Okay, you know what? Gravitas. I know these people off.
I was like, that's all right. I'll wait till next
I'm
year.
trying to just say that in my case. I can't look up.
I tagged you out.
Gravitas.
There you go. You can keep that.
Oh, thank you, babe.
On page 30 is the. They'll be dropping off some. I think there's a plan to drop off some tomorrow.
Where am I?
It's a radio listening experience.
Where am I? Are we in mine?
Thank you. Man, I was over here like, we were like, I was calling her.
So we want, that's what you want. King and Jazz. They left.
Oh.
Just Connie and them. So you want me to just bring them in?
Yes, bring them in. Okay.
I ain't seeing my.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Mwah. I'll talk to you guys later. Yes, thank you.
I'll touch base with you after our
Oh, thank you. It does get hot in here.
I'll touch base with you after our
Yes. Okay.
And let me give you a multicultural guide, because if you see some stuff that you can do it, ideas, just, right now.
Okay. There they are. They're like, oh, they left. They didn't go nowhere. How are you? Welcome. Nice to meet you too. How you doing? Now, how you not tell her what time?
Tell who what time? You told us 10:30. I got the text that says it.
Yes, 10:30. You have to be here because there's nobody running out of. So you just like Tom and chill out. And he was here. Yeah, he was here early. But they were in the second part of the. They thought they were going on at 10:30.
Customer satisfaction rating.
Well, come in here and see.
Satisfying coverage from Geico isn't just for your car. The Geico Insurance Agency can help you with renter's insurance too.
Where are we?
And Geico offers motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. You know what else will make you feel
good? And then the romance people. Where are they?
They still out there.
How many of them is it?
A lot.
That's a lot.
I told him 3. I was like,
all right, so you want me to just tell him bring 3 in?
Yeah, because we gonna put them over
in the corner.
Yep, I just want them in here so then when I'm ready to reference them, we don't have to go try to find them.
Tonto, can I have a set? Is there another set?
Attention, anyone who is taking Nexium, Prilosec, Prevacid, or any other proton pump inhibitor to treat heartburn, indigestion, or acid reflux. You may be entitled to significant cash compensation. The Journal of American Medical Association recently reported
Did you hear
that
Star
proton
X,
pump inhibitors,
Jennifer?
including Nexium and
Mhm.
Prilosec,
A little
increase
bit.
the chances of
I heard
individuals
a little
developing
bit.
chronic kidney disease by 50%.
I'm glad that they're putting out Black Basil.
Hey,
I
yeah.
think it's great.
Shut that shit down. Because he's doing something at
such as chronic kidney
Betty T.
disease,
Ferguson,
renal or
because he
kidney
don't want
failure,
black people to
dialysis
go
treatment,
to
or
Basel.
even a related death.
What
that
kind
ain't
of dumb
gonna
shit is
happen.
that?
Right, that's not gonna happen.
It is
You may be
absolutely
entitled
not
to
going to happen.
significant
Fighting a losing
compensation,
battle.
but her
And
time
right,
is
it's like, why would you
limited.
do that?
Or a
It's
loved
good
one took
intentions,
Nexium,
but that's not gonna
Prilosec,
happen.
or any other proton pump inhibitor.
But I don't even
Call
think it's
800-291-6517.
his premise
Operators
is
standing
that
by 24/7.
black,
800-291-6517.
that art Basel is not for black people.
800-291-6517.
And I'm like,
800-291-6517.
but Art Basel was not for anybody that wasn't a millionaire art buyer for many years. It was in Switzerland. It was never even in America. So don't make a division where there wasn't. You know? Hey, y'all. Hey. Y'all, where? Oh, there you are, darling. Oh, hey, honey. I don't know what that was.
That can mean so many. That's
It don't look that close.
No, you can come out.
And it's only catching you like right here. So.
Your views matter to us. Call Hot Talk at 888-550-9.
I'm surprised they let me go to it. You know, we can only go to certain websites in this building. If I start playing it. Okay. Right. 1 minute she cleaning the house, the next minute she fucking came. Like I was just washing my windows and all of it was ticking my ass. Oh my God. You ready? I'm ready. Oh, it is Hot Talk After Midnight. How y'all doing? Welcome back. 888-550-9105. Welcome back to Hot Talk. So listen, every time these two, every time either one of them are in town, I asked them to come on Hot Talk, but we are finally blessed and highly favored to have Miss Jet Set Jasmine in the building. Woo! Okay, I need applause.
Here.
Hi there.
Hello.
Welcome home.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, indeed. Her mic is a little low. You come over to it a little
You want
bit.
me to put it in my mouth?
There you go. And of course, Tonto's like, no, darling, let me help you.
Right.
Let me
For the
help you.
record, he's never assisted anyone with their mic before.
If you are we live on YouTube? Okay, you can go to the Jill Tracy Show YouTube channel and check out the room now because we are like thick with it right now. It is Hot Talk After Midnight. We are talking about love and sex and relationships. And you know what? It dawned on me in getting prepared for the show at 7. Those of you who go on my Facebook page, I tried to do mommy duties and take the dogs to the dog park. You know, my dogs, all of the little dogs playing. My little dogs just sitting right there like, okay, what is this? When did you start thinking I was a dog? Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. So I missed a couple of hours of research. But while I was sitting on that bench, I thought, you know what? I should ask Jasmine and Ken what they think about the current state of affairs as it comes to sexual harassment in the office, right? Well, just every workplace. Unfortunately, it has just hit my friend who owns a modeling agency, and one of his former models is suing because Bruce Weber was inappropriate with him. So it's finally hit home to where it is like I can see how these things happen. But I think at the very, very core of all of this, right, is the fact that we are so afraid of sex. There is no human thing that doesn't have it, but we are so afraid to deal with it as just a human function. You ever have, well, Jennifer knows, like sometimes we'll be at my house, right? They come over and my dog will just in the middle of the floor. It's like she needs an audience to hump her teddy, right? No shame whatsoever. Like it's just like she would pee, she goes and humps the teddy. And you know, and I thought about that one day. Like it is just it's a normal human function.
I honestly thought she learned that from you. I didn't realize that.
Just hold up a minute. But yeah, and so it made me think about that. And because we don't deal with it that way, that's one of the reasons why we have this funk in the air. That's always been there, but has now risen to the surface. I'd love for you all who make a living in sex to speak to that.
So I'm so happy that you asked about that because it is a very important. It's not just important now; it's always been important. But I'm so glad that we're finally having this discussion. And yeah, sex is absolutely natural. Assaulting people is not. And I think that's the important thing is that there's sexual etiquette, there's proper sexual behavior, there's appropriate sexual culture. And what we're seeing is misbehavior. And it's great that people are feeling comfortable enough or they're feeling like they may have justice may be served or that they may be able to stand up for people to come forward at this time. And it's also important that people are learning what behavior is appropriate and what isn't. What's going to cost you your job, what's going to cost you your reputation, what's going to cost your family. So I think this is, I'm so happy that we're in this time. And it's very sad that, people are kind of feeling like they have to take a side, whether they believe someone or not, or, it is really sad. Ultimately, we should want everyone to feel safe and comfortable. We should feel safe with the opposite sex, or with people in general, in our workplace, anywhere that we are. So, sex is absolutely, it's natural. It's perfectly normal for your dog to be an exhibitionist and hump that and hump
her
teddy.
Right.
But if that teddy says no,
right. If the teddy says no, we are going to. I'm calling TMZ. There's a check for me somewhere.
Well,
King
I
Noir.
think, Jasmine hit it right.
once consent is not there,
right,
then there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of men in the world think that they don't look at women as human beings. They look at women as objects, or they look at women as something that's there to entertain them.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even understand, like, there's not this, men aren't taught, like, yo, keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
Keep your thoughts to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a proper way to speak to a woman. There's a proper way to speak to a man. Because, you know, obviously, you know, with Kevin Spacey, he was doing the same thing to other men.
Right.
You know, so there's just something in the culture that people are not. Like, I just think America has this problem where sex is sold to you with everything, but at the same time, sex is viewed as taboo. It's viewed as there's something wrong with it if you have sexual thoughts, feelings, emotions, or whatever. So people lash out in different ways, but when it comes to sexual assault, though, these people know what they're doing. I don't think that there are people who are mentally unstable or deviant. These are just people who are trying to use their power to get what they want from somebody. And a lot of times, like with Harvey Weinstein, it's someone who's in a powerful position that is like, okay, well, if you want to advance, this is what you got to do. Right. That's not somebody who's just horny and in the moment. That's someone who's using their power to own people.
Right, because if
it's coming out in a lot of different ways, and I'm glad that women are standing up and speaking out and using their voice and using their power to help other women who might not be in a position to actually be out there in the limelight and all of that, like some of these, like when it all started with Harvey Weinstein with the actresses. I'm glad that they're using their voice, and it's empowering other women to come and speak out other people. Yeah,
it is going to be it's going to be a topic that we deal with on several different levels, and from several different angles, I should say, because when you and one of them is, you know, being able to properly deal with to talk to people about sex, because you just said something where you said, you know, this is not people like acting out. That's a rapist, right? Mm-hmm. But Harvey Weinstein is a powerful man using it. And what is the difference?
Well, I mean, there are examples with Harvey Weinstein where he is also a rapist.
He's a rapist, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that.
But I think just that
when somebody is using their power, it's not always about sex. Sex might be the way that they're using their power. Like a lot of times, rape is a power issue also, but it's still sexual assault, and it's still in a lot of cases. I think you know, they're a lot of men say, oh, well, I just said something, or I just whistled, or I just did that.
Talk.
Like, you know, all of that is leading down that path. You know, like first it's this, then it's something else. And then first you said something rude, first you said something inappropriate, and now you're going to brush up against it. And now you're going to do this, and now you're going to quarter her. And it has to be cut off in the beginning. You shouldn't even be doing this to start with.
Yeah.
So it has to be cut off in a way that men are taught how they can and should interact with women.
And I think many times they just choose not to. But like, I meant to bring the piece. I will bring it next Sunday. But just like all things, right? Because some of those who don't believe the women say, oh, well, why now? Why at an election? Why? Well, you know, all things that happen. You know, when Rosa Parks sat down on the bus, why? Because she was tired. Literally. You know what I'm saying? And so Gretchen Carlson, who I never thought would be like one of my champions, but I have to say that she was really the first one that said, I don't care how much money it is, I don't care none of that. No, this is not going down like this, period. And look what happened. You know, #MeToo. She opened the door. And so a lot of them, you know, a lot of those who didn't have that courage, you know, I'm working on that. Like how they fall into that place. But I think one of the biggest things, is that people don't like to talk about sex. Jennifer and I have had the conversation many times about how we did a show on masturbation. And, you know, women called in like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're talking about this. Because there's so many myths and lies in our community. And I told them that I had a friend whose parent or somebody told them that if you touch yourself down there, you will go blind. So, you know, growing up was something that something that is natural and is pleasurable to you is going to make you go blind. You know, those kind of mixed messages is what messes people up through life.
So that's a mechanism of control. You know, and then of course this is bad information that's being passed down, or you know, wide sales or things like that. But you know, we can probably think of a lot of things that our parents told us to make us afraid of doing something that might later hurt ourselves. And I think with masturbation, it comes from a space of once you start touching yourself and you feel this pleasure, then you're going to want someone else to touch you. And then, you know, especially for girls, it always, you know, it is once you start touching yourself, you please yourself, then you're going to want a boy to touch you. And if a boy touches you, then you're going to get pregnant. And, you know, everything that follows. So I think, you know, masturbation, the first thing it comes from is a place of inserting fear or putting fear in small people so that they don't make subsequent decisions around sex. And then if you just start with you can't touch yourself, then that closes the conversation for later. Well, if I can't explore myself, then how am I going to talk to this person about exploring somebody else? So we cut the conversation the minute that we tell our children or young people that they can't explore their own bodies. So I you know.
So your parents,
I agree with that.
Your parents didn't do that to you, then?
Yes, they did.
They did.
Absolutely. I was raised in a very Catholic Filipino household. I didn't know I even had a vagina. That wasn't even a word that we used.
Wow.
So, you know, that's my sexual exploration came about as an adult. And I did all of those things. I masturbated. It felt good. I used to like to rub up on things, on furniture. I felt very ashamed about doing it, but it felt really good. And I never had that discussion. We did not talk about sex. The first time we talked about sex, I was already pregnant. So I was coming home from college and I was pregnant.
Look at that.
Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't have the opportunity to have the discussion about, okay, I touched myself and it feels really good. What would it feel like with the toy? What would it feel like with the man?
Boy.
Boy. How do I protect myself? Right. All of those things. And then the conversation that we had, it wasn't so much that we were talking about sex. It was just like, now look, here's the consequences of you being dirty, being bad.
Right.
You know. And so I think talking about giving children a safe space to masturbate. Again, talking about that appropriate behavior.
Yeah.
I remember in school there were boys who would just pull their penises out. There were, you know, again, inappropriate behavior because we're not setting the stage for children to be able to do that. So saying, you know, this is your body, it's yours to touch, but you do it in the privacy of your bedroom, and only you touch your body. It's, you know, we just don't have those kind of conversations because of that fear that you talked about.
And that was one of the things that made so many black people up in arms on Facebook about Moonlight. There were several scenes, you know, where the boys are in the locker room and they're comparing penis size. But that is, from my understanding, that is a normal boyhood. I mean, I won't say this is necessarily normal, but that is something that boys do as they matriculate. And girl, we never compare vaginas. We don't say, oh, look, mine is more furry than yours.
No, but we do. We talk about breast size. Like, oh, she has, you know, she's got. It's something that we can visibly see.
Well,
And then, I mean, we don't really talk about our vaginas as women until we talk about our periods, maybe. You know, just from the standpoint of like, you know, do you need a pad or something like that?
It's interesting though when you think about it. When we talk about as women, when we talk to each other about breast size, it's rarely ever in a sexual way. It's always about a broad.
Maybe not your conversation.
Okay, well, what are your conversations? Well, you know, yours have their own zip code, Jennifer. So, you have many conversations. I admire her breast a lot.
Thank you.
But you know, you're younger than me. Mine weren't quite that high.
Mine were never. Mine weren't always this big either.
Oh.
In college, I was a B cup.
So what have you been eating?
I've been laying out in the sun topless. That's what happened.
Really?
Yeah. But
there you go, A cups.
But to go back,
there you go.
But to go back to what Jasmine was saying, I mean, you don't. I mean, the conversation about vaginas almost never happened in sexual education. They don't talk. They talk about reproduction. They don't talk about all the other functions. In sex education, you never hear about masturbation or orgasms. Never. Never.
Yeah.
When I work with my clients, it's actually very interesting because most women that I work with have never even explored their own vagina. Like I've asked, have you ever looked at yourself? Because I think a lot of people, they wind up in
with a mirror,
in a mirror, or even just close your eyes and explore yourself. You know, a lot of people, they get into a relationship and they're now expecting a man to please them when they've never even found out what it is that they like.
Right.
You know, so they're like in a relationship with a man, and they're like, well, why don't you do what I don't even know what I want? You know,
Right.
so it creates a certain problem, because then if you've never explored yourself, how would you be able to begin to tell someone else how you
what you want and how you
and they might do something you like, which is great, but we always put this men do the same thing with women as well.
I was
Put this
gonna say, yeah.
expectation on your partner to kind of like blow your mind all the time, when you know a lot of sex is just exploratory and finding new things and trying them together.
And calming and you know
that goes back to the show we had on masturbation. None of those women that were calling had ever masturbated. They had never even looked at it in the mirror. They never
bought a toy or anything.
And their girlfriends were shaming them. That's what most of them were saying. It's like, well, I tried to talk to her about my girlfriends, and they told me that was nasty.
Right. We don't talk about that. That's it. You've been watching Sex in the City. We don't do that. We don't do that around here.
Well, if you ever watched Sex in the City,
well, that's what I'm saying. But they talked about it openly.
They
like,
made it more conversational.
Exactly.
They kind of normalized.
But again, it's like, you know, white women talk about stuff like that. You know, black women don't talk about stuff like that.
Right.
Which, you know.
So can we just
yeah,
a little bit,
you know.
So I think part of it is, you know, how do I masturbate,
right?
You know, and so I think just saying, look at yourself, maybe get a mirror. A lot of women think that their vaginas are ugly. They don't realize that there's no perfect looking vagina. They all look so different. Watch a little porn. You know, and just
a lotus flower.
Yeah. Everybody's is different. So that's the first thing, is being okay and accepting your vagina for whatever it looks like. Some people feel really, really good if you put your fingers inside your vagina. Some people feel really good if you just touch the lips of your vagina.
Right.
Others, if you stimulate the clitoris. So there's a lot of different ways. There's no right or wrong way. You can use a toy or just your fingers. So I think, you know, when we talk about masturbation, people say that they don't do it. A part of it is also like, I don't know, am I doing it right? You know, we all know, we get taught really early how guys masturbate.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because we use
and it's okay. It's you know, it's the topic of and it's the topic of not even just like really body jokes. You know, guy on television. I mean, just on regular TV, they can talk about how, you know, they stay in the house all day and, you know, and masturbate. It's like, no wonder we have these kind of problems. You come to work and you think that you can push a button under your desk and that's going to happen here. Not so much, buddy.
Right.
So let's talk about your website, royalfetish.com. Now,
royalfetishxxx.com.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've
got to throw them 3 X's up in there.
Into.
Yes, because when I was surprised it came up here at.
I'm not.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Tonto put the hack on the computer.
Listen, but that means it hasn't been blocked. That means somebody's been watching it. So maybe it's the last time you guys were here. So, but you were on the first show where I had you guys on. We talked about you were on because you're entrepreneurs, and so this is your business together. Now you are a poly-married couple.
Oh, we got married.
I don't remember that.
You're not married.
Was it in Vegas? That might be why.
You all travel a lot.
It stays in Vegas.
Because where did you just come from? You just came off from cruise.
In Haiti and Aruba.
Yeah, we did a 7-day
lifestyle.
A 7-day lifestyle. So it's like swingers and nudist cruise through the Caribbean.
Yeah, you said you were going to walk on the boat and take off your clothes.
Exactly.
Were you naked the entire trip?
No, you can't be naked the entire trip. You can't like walk through the
dining
breakfast and
dining
stuff.
room.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody wants me brushing up on a bagel like that.
Well, I don't know.
It's an everything bagel.
From the looks of this website, I'm. But yeah, it's royalfetishxxx.com.
Yes.
And so it was a 7-day cruise.
7 days.
With just swingers, and so what does so.
Well, we were on. We actually taught an introduction to fetish class.
Okay.
So kind of just getting people to learn about their kinks, learn about their fetishes, just kind of open their minds a little bit to how they can explore that in their relationship or in their alone time as well.
Yeah.
And Jasmine was teaching Stealing Loves Fitness.
I love that.
Thank you.
I haven't had on a stiletto in a decade, but you know, I love the fitness class.
Thank you.
So now I think that our other guests who are in the barbershop with us tonight, King is I joked, I said I have 2 kings I have lots of kings in the building tonight, but our king here, welcome back. Do you have a mic?
Yes, yes.
Hey, babe, how are you?
Oh, it's a blessing to be here. Thank you.
Welcome back. I'm blessed and highly favored to have you and your gold panel, your gold love relationship panel.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing me the flyer. Jesus knows. So you all will remember him for his book, which we don't have time to do the book tonight, but you have to come back for that one because there's several things now that I've read that book we have to go back over. But they are doing it's called 7 Types of Queens, Kings, Desire presents Golden Love and Relationships panel, and it's this Saturday coming up. Drive-by fit. Where is Tasha?
I thought she said she was going to call in.
Oh, okay. She did call me. Okay. And it's happening in Fort Lauderdale, and the panel is here. So I'm going to let you all each introduce yourself before we go to break, and we're going to talk to them about how we bridge this gap so that by the time you get into that relationship, you can get the help and assistance of my dear friends here, King and Jasmine, to complete that circle and put a ring on it. You can start on this, whatever way.
Well, this is King Kevin Dorval, author and mentor.
Tiffany Knowles, I'm professor and author of Ola America.
I'm Caprio Jackson with Wonder Jackson Films, creative director of Wonder Jackson Films.
Awesome.
I'm Keenan Pinkney with the Keenan Experience on saxophone, bringing movies.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Where's your saxophone? They didn't tell you?
It's waiting for you on the night.
Okay, there you go.
I'm Mandy Frederick. I'm the CEO and founder of Discover the Beauty Women Empowerment, where we empower women to pursue their purpose with passion through their gifts and calling that God has placed on the inside of them.
We just got everybody in them. Yes. Oh, that was everybody. I can't see everything back there. So I was looking on Chris is not here. Chris Priestley, the comedian, and Dr. Tasha, who you all know from the show. So we're going to talk to them when we come back on the other side. Stay tuned, I am Jill Tracey on Hot Talk on Hot 105. See, I forget. I get the shows confused. I was about to go with the 411 on Hot 105. This is Hot Talk on Hot 105.
05 and Universal Orlando.
Okay.
Universal Orlando is unwrapping a new Resort Mind celebration that will elevate your season for the first time ever. They're celebrating Christmas in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. There's an all-new holiday parade featuring Macy's. Celebrate the season at Universal Orlando Resort. You've never had a holiday like this.
Making me wait. Jill Scott. It's in my phone. It's Jill Scott. I'm making you wait.
Making you wait?
Yeah. It's Jill Scott and Paul Wall. That's it right there.
This is Terry Williams, president and owner of One United Bank, the largest black-owned bank in the world.
So gone. I'm sorry. Yeah.
This is my personal invitation to you to join the Bank Black movement. We must be more purposeful about how we use our money. We need to build black.
So I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to you and ask you about how the panel.
And using your
how you came with the panel from the book.
Visa debit cards with their powerful images
and
of
sort of what the
the
goal is.
Black money matters. So just go to OneUnited.com today.
I mean, what each one of you bring to the panel.
Which can be expensive. Need cash?
Right.
You need cash to get caught up on bills. You can now get up to $500 cash right here in Florida. Just dial *** 500 on your
you all talk about sex on the panel?
Dial
Okay.
*** 500 and
Very
see
good.
how fast we can get you the cash you need. If you need cash fast, dial ***.
Okay, but the saxophone thing.
Dial
You got live
500
music
now.
on the show.
That's *** 500.
Yeah, you gotta give me your
Your
info.
cash at a store near you.
I had John Sachs on
Just
about
dial
2 months ago.
500. The check cashing
Yeah,
store is now
and
the
instead of
fast
doing
and
the
easy way to
music
get
in the
cash
breaks,
when
I
you
do
need
the
it.
live
For quick
artists.
cash now to pay bills.
Yeah.
Dial
He does
*** 500 on your mobile phone so you can get your cash fast from online or
All right,
one of
so
the check
Kevin, how
cashing
you been?
stores
How's
near you.
business?
To get cash fast, dial Star 500. Star 500.
A home burglary happens every 15 seconds in the United States.
how'd it go?
Don't wait until it's too late. You become the next statistic. Secure your home, family, and possessions today with the Sloman Shield.
Are you all
Call us
live?
today for your free Sloman Shield security system with LED touchscreen and free installation. This state-of-the-art home security system has a $1,500 value and is yours free. All you have to do is use Sloman's low-cost central station monitoring. Just dial **SAFE on your mobile phone
so now where
the
are
first
you off
40
to
callers
next?
get an indoor surveillance camera free. Just dial **SAFE. Get the peace of mind that comes with knowing your family and home are protected by the best 24 hours a day. Dial **SAFE on your mobile phone now for your free Sloman Shield security system valued at $1,500 and free installation. Dial **SAFE on your mobile phone now. Dial * and the word SAFE. Dial **SAFE.
We could definitely let people know about that.
So when you say lifestyle, is that like a promoter or is it?
So it's just like the same thing, swingers, all kinds of. But everybody that's on there is not a swinger. That's kind of what I wanted to mention.
I was gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you about swingers and what I.
It's just good to let people know because there might be some things going on in the environment, but that kind of makes it fun. Remember, New Mexico, Vegas.
Yeah, New Mexico, Vegas. Mexico.
Yeah, you all travel a lot. So is that doing shows? Is it doing clients? Or is it a little all of those things?
We try to combine it every trip that we go to.
Yeah.
To, if we have clients in the area.
Do a lot of
clients shooting, shows, demos.
Because I don't think people realize that, I mean, it is like probably the biggest industry in the world. And they're not, you rarely ever hear about, well, the first time King was on, I called it neo-porn. I told him, I was like, I half expect Erykah Badu to show up with a joint and have a threesome with you at some point. Because it's like...
I'm with that.
Right? It is like, I mean, it's, it's pretty. And it's not just that, and then... Okay. It's like... Yeah, and that's why I think a lot of women, particularly black women, are like, and it's so funny because there's a very prominent attorney in town, right? When King was coming, I thought you were coming too. So I was doing an event, moderating a panel, whatever, and he said, "Oh, who do you have this Sunday?" And I was like, "Oh, I have King Noir and Jet Set Jasmine." Oh, really? Oh. He realized like how excited. I called Jennifer. I was like, "This was hilarious." He realized how excited because he knew. I was like, "You know that?" He's like, "I'm like, yeah." But it is.
That was on your computer.
You're the one using your computer.
Using your computer.
Okay, but I mean, it's such a. I really think that's one of the reasons why we got so many problems now, because people just can't talk, don't feel like they can talk openly about sex, so it becomes kind of this bastardized thing, and then, somebody's getting blowjobs in the bush.
Yeah, it comes out of very sexuality.
Yeah, I do want to talk about it and dating. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Ready?
To join Hot Talk, call 888-550-9105. And now, back to Hot Talk.
Yes, indeed. We are back. You can give us a call. Do you have questions? The lines, forgive me, have been closed most of the night. I didn't realize sometimes I came over in time to get my lines were closed. But you can give us a call, 888-550-9105, if you have any questions for Jet Setting Jasmine and King Noir from Royal Fetish. And if you also have questions for our panel from Golden Love and Relationships, it's happening next Saturday at Escape Lounge in Lauderhill. For more information, let's see. Oh, you're sponsored by Couples Only, MVP, and what is Skyview?
Skyview Marketing is my marketing company. I started
Awesome.
5 years ago.
Very cool. And you will remember King. He was on with his book, Seven Types of Queens, King's Desire. Okay, so what kind of queen is Jet Set Jasmine King?
She's obviously very, I guess, to be a sexy queen, you can say.
Okay.
You guys talk about sex so much, I have to use that title.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, based on your book. So share with her, based on your book, who is the sexy queen. So his methodology is there's 7 types of women that men want. So the sexy queen is
a woman that actually a lot of people think that sexy queen is about the physical attraction. It was actually about the mental attraction, having the ability to have intellectual conversations, and stimulate a man with your intelligence and not just your physical body. There's a lot more to a woman than just a physical appearance and pleasure. There's a spiritual component. There's that love that you give, that women have, that love energy. So I promote that in my book, 7 Types of Queens, King's Desire.
And I just want you all to just share in the dichotomy of this moment, Jennifer, as we are watching Joel Osteen.
I noticed that.
No one will ever accuse us of being biased about anything in this room.
Did Joel ever let those people in the church during the hurricane?
Okay, no, he didn't
didn't?
actually.
Oh.
No, he never did. And then there was what?
Hurricane.
Oh.
There's the top 10
I was
words.
like, change it.
And it's
That's no coincidence.
Thank you very much.
Well, they said eventually Joel Osteen did let the people into the church.
Eventually.
Yeah.
He never did.
After the hurricane ended?
After they found somewhere else to go.
After they found somewhere else to go, and after they shamed him on every television.
He is not living his word.
No, not at all. So King Dorval.
Yes, ma'am.
So now tell me about the panel. What should people expect on Saturday? What is the 411 on this panel over here?
Well, what we're going to do is have a relationship panel and also a speed dating event for the singles. Now, those who are married or in a relationship, we're going to have somewhat of a dating game for them as well, so that they can feel included to the program. We're going to have saxophone player playing the King Experience. We're going to have some poetry, a fashion show, some great food, networking, and red carpet. And you must come in dressed either red or gold. That's what we're hoping for.
Why is that?
Well, I wanted to bring some class back to Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is ranked number 86 out of 182 cities in the country as cities that you can find true love in. So, 86 is pretty bad. Miami is ranked number 49, according to some recent research. So we wanted to bring class back and also emphasize the importance of relationships, because a lot of our homes, especially in the Black community, is being raised by single mothers. The men are lacking because the men don't see themselves in the equation. So we want to show and emphasize the importance of the man and the woman in the home, raising the child together and building. We need to get back to building, because when Black people were at their highest state, which was in ancient times in Kemet, which is Egypt today, we had 3 golden eras. And so I want people to wear the gold to reflect our righteous ancestors back in Africa.
Okay, and the red?
Red, red is love, red is sexy, roses.
So you said something in there that men don't know did you say their place, or men don't know how to?
It seems like the roles are conflicting. The men trying to be women, women trying to be men. We want to set the record straight and get people back to the right.
What do you mean by that?
Please define.
There's a lot of confusion. There's like I just mentioned, that there's majority of the homes in the Black community is raised by Black women, right?
But a lot of that is, that was baked into the cake in the 70s. In order for Black households to continue, the man had to leave, because that's the only way a woman could get welfare. So a lot of that is, and now, it just got generational. I don't think that it's because Black men just in general don't want to be there for their families.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This is Tiffany.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Yeah, so I would agree, and I completely, Jill, the issue that we're having here is, which is why he's brought this panel we need a lot of re-education within our community, reframing our thinking so that we can understand, yes, I deserve to be in my home. I deserve to teach my children and to allow them not to be socialized on the outside and not within the home as well. So bringing us together, it is a matter of bringing love back to Fort Lauderdale so that those who come, a lot of the young adults who will be in attendance, will also be educated by some of the panelists who have righteous minds on the panel. Right?
So now, is everybody? Oh, I have that dress too. Oh, maybe. Sorry, the randomest things come out of my mouth. I'm sorry. Okay, so is everybody on the panel married, single? Show of hands.
Single.
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 We have one married person.
I was about to say, I'm seeing a pattern here.
we do have one married person on the panel, but I'm single. This is King Kevin.
You're single too?
I'm single, searching for my queen.
Okay.
From here to London.
Joe, I have a question. So I've been to speed dating events before, and I've hosted speed dating events before, and I usually find that there's not enough men that would come to those events. So how will you ensure that there will be an equal number of men and women at the event?
That's a great question. Actually, that's one of the top questions I was asked. So what we did was we had 10,000 flyers printed. Actually, this is our last 20 flyers. What we did was we went to football games such as the Dolphins games, basketball games, the gyms, specifically talking to the men. Also mechanic shops, corporate,
Okay, you went everywhere men go.
Correct. Because women gonna come naturally. A lot of women already bought their tickets.
No. When's the last time you tried to make one come?
Make a man come?
He's waiting for his queen.
He just soared like a jet plane over your head. Okay, but I digress. So you went everywhere that men congregate to get them to come out. And so what was your response? Did they, did you get a lot of guys saying, yeah, it's hard for me to find a good woman, or
Oh yeah, a lot of guys were telling me, oh man, I need this. When is it? How can I get a ticket? How many guys can I bring with me? So guys are anticipating this event. As a matter of fact, Gabriel Jackson is going to explain some more about the event as well.
Okay, where do you go?
Right here.
So you're one of those men.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you're single.
Yes.
Looking to mingle.
Definitely.
So which kind of queen are you looking for?
Well, after listening to your radio with the last conversation that you had with him, and the young lady called in and asked, could a woman be all 7 of them? And Kevin instructed, yes, she could. So I wouldn't say I'm just looking for one that carries all 7 or just one, but honestly, it's all about getting to know each other, really. And even if you're not one of them, you can always learn to become one of the 7 types. Because after reading this book, it really opened up my eyes to a lot of, different views, and opened up my perspective. So.
Okay, so what did it change for you? What did you think that you don't think now, since you read the book?
Well, I really touched bases with crowning how a queen crowns a king. The 4 ways. I don't know if you touched on that when reading the book, but just how she goes about the sexual, oral sex, how she could crown a king with oral sex, and talking about sexuality and being able to know yourself. Because even touching on what they was talking about, we have to first know ourselves, have that relationship with ourselves first.
I don't know that that's a relationship you can have with yourself.
You're really flexible.
Okay.
Well,
you're ambidextrous
not having oral sex, but just first, you have to first know who you are first.
Right.
And then once you get into a relationship with someone else, you really have to explore those things with the person that you're dealing with. So.
Right. Okay. Well, that would be true. So, your hope for the panel is to...
Well, I'm bringing to the table as far as being an advocate for the book. Like, I really believe in what this book does. And as I was telling King Kevin was that this book is the Bible for relationships. So for where it makes it easier. Like,
are you related to him?
No. I'm just telling you from from just reading the book is a powerful book, and it's a powerful tool that a lot of young people could learn a lot from this book. So I've learned a lot just about relationships, from courting. Courting was one of the biggest issues that a lot of us don't really talk about that much within the community. And asking a friend, he said, hey, courting's dead, but with this book and what we're doing here with this panel, I really feel that we could reestablish what marriage, courting, just a relationship as a whole stands for.
Well, I would certainly agree with that. I do think that a lot of the intricacies of dating have been tossed to the wayside. I think that we do go from 0 to 100 way too quick nowadays. I would love to get your take on that, Jasmine and King.
So dating, going from 0 to 100.
Well, no, I'm trying to frame this. I'm trying to frame this right and quick. As a matter of fact, we can go around the room because we're getting close to the top. So one night stands versus the validity of one night stands, right? On your way to a relationship.
Okay, I'll start.
Let's discuss. Yes, Jasmine.
So I've had one night stands that have led to fantastic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one night stands that I wanted to keep as one night stands.
Right.
And then there's others where I've dated and they've turned out into trash relationships, and others where I've dated. So I think it just really depends on the person and what you want at the time.
But none of us are opposed to them.
I am not.
Right. Anybody in here opposed to one night stands? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna. Please tell me again one more time. Mandy. Okay, so Mandy, our sister in Christ, says that she is praise the Lord. Amen. Jesus. That she is opposed to one night stands. Caller, hang on, we're coming to you. Okay, so tell me, why is that, babe?
The reason why I'm opposed to that, because when you have a one night stand with somebody, there is a spiritual transfer that happens, especially if that person is not in covenant with you, that's not your husband. You gave yourself, you basically given a piece of yourself to that person, and they leave, and then every time you see that person, there's this uneasiness. I don't agree with the one night stand. You don't know the person. I believe when you sleep with that person, you're coming to agreement with whatever they got going on in their life.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's a spiritual covenant thing that takes place because, biblically, when you become one with a person, that's kind of like your husband. But then you have a lot of people that become one with a lot of people. So for me, that's like an imbalance. So that's.
Well, I mean, I just, you said when you come together with somebody, it's almost like your husband, and that would leave out a lot.
But think about it. A lot of people that do that one night stand,
right?
What happens is when they find somebody that they're desiring to be with, they're comparing that person to the next person they've been with. So there's almost a no satisfaction. Well, this is just my opinion.
Right.
They compare their last relationship with their former relationship, or this person is not doing what the last person did. That's why I believe in celibacy and waiting for that person that you decided to be with.
Oh, Lord. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who is this? Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Who's this? Yes, Brother Al. Yes. Yes. Right. Right. And look at it. Look where we are. Yep. Uh-huh. Yes. Brother Al. Brother Al. So this, right, this is my experts, King and Jasmine.
I think
Can handle that one.
I think
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. King. Okay.
I think most people give Satan way too much credit and power. First and foremost, Satan has no control over me. I think, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, the first thing that's important, going back to what the brother was just saying on the phone, is
Brother Al.
Brother Al, people need to be educated about what's safe,
Mm-hmm.
what consent is. Those are the first things that people need to be educated about in regards to sex. But what people enjoy, what their fetishes are, what their kinks are, how they want to have sex, who they want to have sex with. If it's as long as you leave children, animals, people who say no, and people who can't say no out of it, sex is a healthy part of living your life.
Yeah.
Living a healthy life involves your mind, it involves your body, and it involves your spirit. And if you limit any of that, you can lead yourself in ways that would not be living the best life that you can live. And everybody's different. Just like the sister over there said, she wants to be celibate. That's perfectly all right. We live a different sexual lifestyle. She should find someone who lives her sexual lifestyle.
Right.
Just as I found someone who lives my sexual lifestyle. Right. Because everybody has the personally, I think there are infinite possibilities in regards to humanity and sex.
Mm-hmm.
So each of us have different things that we're into, different things that we're looking for, and it's about finding that right fit for you.
Right.
If I go into a relationship with somebody and try to make them something they're not, then I'll never be happy, whether it's for one night or for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's very important to try, and we have to be honest with ourselves about what we're looking for in regards to sex, in regards to relationships, in regards to however you're getting it in.
Yeah.
You have to be honest with yourself and then be honest with whoever your potential partner is going to be.
Yeah. Because like you said, I think that, what is, right for one person may not be right for another. I respect her desire to be celibate and, and have a man. that is celibate that she gives herself to. But it's just like everything else. It's related to food. If, you know, I've only eaten Chinese food all my life, you know, and then I go and have, you know, Crabman 305, and I'm like, Jesus, have mercy, God. I had no idea. So now I'm off to, you know, and I think that I'm the type of person who would like to explore a lot of different things before I decide that I'm going to take this home and this is going to be my, you know,
well, I think
my basic meal for, you know.
Brother King Kevin in his book, he referenced Kemet. In Kemet, they were not Christian, so they lived a different lifestyle. They lived a different sexual lifestyle. So just within this room, within the group, within the panel right there, we already have two different ideas of how people are going to live their life.
Right.
And neither one is wrong. Neither one, if it's right for you, then it's right.
Yeah.
As long as you're not stepping on other people's toes and telling them what they can and can't do. If they're living their life in a free way that is positive for them, I think that it comes, the problems come in when we're trying to tell other people how they should have sex.
Yeah. And that is definitely where that's where we have all of our problems. And so how do you all, because I'm sure that you get it. I'm sure that people are like, oh my God, it's just unnatural. You should not be doing that. How, and I can honestly tell you that, I just met Jasmine, but I've watched them a lot. And as I've known King now for a couple of months, I have really, yeah, no, Jennifer don't even count.
Oh, thanks.
And no, I'm saying, but there's a certain like calm that you both exhibit that you don't see often in people. There's just a centeredness of just a good kind of, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, and I take care of myself on every level to make sure that I'm good. And would you attribute that to the fact that you have a healthy relationship with your body and with sex?
Yes. So thank you for recognizing that. And it did take work to get here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe what comes across, it is a confidence that what we're doing is working for us. And it's not just our sexual, having a healthy relationship, it's trying to be healthy in all areas of our life.
Mm-hmm.
When Mary spoke about an imbalance, that's in everything, not just spiritually. You can be physically imbalanced in so many ways. So I think that both King and I have spent many years prior to meeting each other working on those different things, finding out what works for us, what those preferences are, not trying to fit into spaces that don't work well for us, trying to live up to other people's standards and expectations. And then when we brought those things together, we were fortunate enough to have a very nice and healthy relationship. It's very typical in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And we accept that. We accept that relationships are not always perfect, and part of that is, that is being in a relationship. We have some of the same challenges as other people, but we just make a decision that we're going to work through them. And I think the more we rely on the fact that we're very comfortable in who we are as individuals, it allows us to have a really healthy relationship with one another.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you all married? This is Tiffany, sorry. Are you all married? Because I heard earlier that you said, wait, are we married now? But are you? And do you believe in marriage?
So we're not married, and we do believe in marriage. It is something that exists and is real and works really well for some people. Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that you would get married at any point? Or?
I don't need a document to tell me that I'm in love with someone. This is for me. I'm not speaking for Jasmine. But I don't need a document that tells me to be with somebody and maintain my responsibilities of love and be with somebody forever. But insurance is good. Making sure that I can leave stuff to my wife and kids is also very important as well.
Tax breaks are really important.
Especially with this new GOP.
Yes,
right?
Jesus. Oh my God. You better buy an office building and have some kids.
Absolutely. But I think we have made a commitment to one another in many ways that I've seen. In our line of work, where we work with couples that are married, some are not. I think that we have a really healthy spiritual, physical, financial commitment to one another, and our partnership in our business. And so, that piece of paper before, and even some of those words that people have stood before their God hasn't proven to me to be any more valid than the relationship that we have.
Yeah. I think a lot of times it is important to look at how many divorces there are. If marriage was just like that means it's for life, there wouldn't be so many divorces in the world. So I think it's just whatever works for you is what you have to live up to.
Yeah. But can I say something? Because he said something about
quick. Yeah, because we're over. Quick. No, go quick.
Because he said something about divorce. A lot of people get married for wrong reasons. That's why the divorce rate is really high.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't signify it's because marriage is not working. If you're getting married with the person because they have money, and when the money's gone, because that was your sole purpose, then of course, yeah, you're not gonna stay with the person.
I didn't say that's why marriage doesn't work. I didn't say marriage doesn't work.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying when marriage itself isn't what keeps people together. What
Of
keeps
course,
people together is their commitment to their partner and their love for their partner. Marriage is just a certificate.
Yeah. Jen, want to close us out, my dear?
Well, I'm here to help marriages stay together, relationships stay together. My fellatio class is coming December 16th. It's coming to Miami, so you can follow me on Instagram at Sex Therapist Jen, or you can find our event on Eventbrite at What That Mouth Do.
I get it.
I love that. Okay, so would you all come to our ladies? Would you all come to our fellatio class? Well, it's her class. I'm attending.
When I get married, I will.
But you no, see, this is a pre-marriage thing. This is
don't worry.
No,
she
you
has
won't
cucumbers.
actually.
She
You won't.
doesn't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
cucumbers.
Yeah, these are all cucumbers
and fruit.
zucchinis. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is just to learn the techniques.
They're
So
all
when you
tools
do
you can
get,
put in your toolbox for when you get into a relationship.
there you go. Happy. No, see, that'd be too late. You'd be running in here. Wait, now I need to know. Well, you know. Anyway, she's looking at me like I'm about to come sprinkle some. Mandy's looking at me like I'm gonna come sprinkle some holy water on both of y'all. So listen. We gotta go. I'm way over time, but I want to thank all of my guests tonight. Yes, indeed. So every time you're in town, I would love for you to come by. So, and you all are out. You're out until the beginning of the year?
Oh no, we
You're not
will
back
be
here.
here for New Year's Eve. We're gonna be performing with LOV for a yacht party for New Year's Eve.
Oh, awesome. So is that open to the swinging public?
Well, I mean, it's open to whoever you are. Whatever.
Where can you get info?
You can email us.
Yeah.
info@jetsettingjasmine.com.
info@jetsettingjasmine. I'll put it on the website. Awesome. And the panel, Gold Relationships panel, is on Saturday at Escape Lounge, Lauderhill.
At 7 p.m. And you can get your tickets on Eventbrite or go to my website at www.7queens7kings.com.
Awesome. And Jen, and one time for all Like Minds Media in the building, keeping us up and digital and looking good. And Tonto Irie, as always. And my sax player. Okay, yes, let's exchange numbers so we can make that happen. King and Jazz, love you, mean it. And you too. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I am Jill Tracy. This is Hot Talk on Hot 105.
With Jill Tracy, always live, always local, always
Okay.
educating South Florida. Every Sunday night
Oh.
from 11 p.m. to 1
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, opinions expressed on Hot Talk, guests and callers are not necessarily those of WHQT, Hot 105, or Cox Media Group. Our studios and offices are located at 2741 29th Avenue in Hollywood.
Okay. Okay.
So we've been trying to work to get it down here because I just
Yes.
Johnson.